Good afternoon. Good afternoon. To our National President, Beverly Evans Smith, our members of the National Executive Committee, to the past National Presidents of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, members of the National Executive Board, to our visitors, our distinguished guests, and friends who are assembled here, and as my mother always says, to the angels watching over me. We are so glad to see you this afternoon. Aren't you glad you made it? It gives me great pleasure. I am Deidre K. Diaz, Chair of the National Information and Communications Committee, to stand before you and celebrate the founding of the greatest, grandest, baddest, boldest, and best sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. I am especially pleased to celebrate with you, my sisters. So to you Deltas, the ambitious, brave, capable, devoted, earnest, enterprising, fervent, generous, innovative, keen, level-headed, motivated, outspoken, passionate, resourceful, sophisticated, timeless, versatile, and willing ladies of Delta Sigma Theta, I am excited to welcome you to the public meeting of the 54th National Convention. I am also so proud to be among you today because there is a sweet, sweet spirit in this place, and I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. To paraphrase Carol P. Zippert, there is power in celebration when you celebrate what's been good to you. There is hope in celebration when you share what speaks to who you are, and there is love in celebration when you commit that. Celebration is love. We know that we have tens of thousands of sisters from all over who are on their way, but we thank God that we are here in this assembly where the theme of our public meeting is joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our heart. We will now have the invocation from the Reverend Vashti Jasmine St. John, great-granddaughter of Delta Sigma Theta founder Vashti Turley Murphy. Following the invocation, we will have the presentation of colors by the following Deltas: Colonel Gloria Lee Hawkins, Colonel Denise Gaines Edmond, Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Cross, Lieutenant Colonel Vivian Key, and Sergeant Major Tanya Bales.
Let us now center ourselves and invite the presence of God to come into this place. Let us bow our heads and close our eyes. Our Father and our God, you who are the creator of all things, master of all things, you who can calm the raging seas and bring peace in the midst of a storm. We invoke your presence here and now, O God, in this what we call our public meeting, so that we may have an encounter with you. Bless us, O God. Bless our sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Bless us, O God, our families, our guests, and friends. Bless us, O God, with peace that surpasses all understanding. Touch every sister in the room tonight. Touch every sister on the way by air and on the highways and on the byways. And touch those whose plans may have been temporarily derailed in their efforts to get here. Touch every heart, O God. We do not take for granted that we have made it to this place. And now, O God, we pray that by your grace, that while we are here, we make an impact. Now, God, allow your mercy to reign as we move forward with business this week. Touch our bodies, O God, and grant that strength to endure. Touch our minds and keep our souls that we may continue to trust in you. It is in the name of Jesus that we pray, and the whole room says, amen.
And amen. I will invite Mrs. Walitra Naves of the Birmingham Alumni Chapter to the podium as she will sing our national anthem. Immediately after the national anthem, we will remain standing for the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. As the Delta Color Guard approaches, please stand.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Well, I don't know why you're sitting. At this time, we will continue with our program. We know that we have guests coming and going in light of what happened with today's weather, so we will be flexible. But at this time, I am so excited to present a wonderful and dynamic leader to you, one who has withstood the test of time, who leads the great Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She hails from the Marietta Roswell Alumni Chapter in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are so pleased that she is a Southern girl and a product of the dynamic Southern region. She is not just our president. She is not just our leader. She is a wife. I just saw Mr. Stephan walk in. She is the mother of two. She has a Delta daughter, and she has beautiful, beautiful grandchildren. But above all, she is our fearless leader, and she is one who does not play. Yet, at the same time, she manages to be sisterly, sassy, and sophisticated, and we love her dearly. Please stand as we welcome the National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Beverly Evans Smith, to bring us words of welcome and the occasion. And she will be followed by the dynamic Deborah Elam, the coordinator of our 54th National Convention. President Smith.
Thank you. Oh, my. Good evening. We're here, right?
Yes.
Wow. It has taken a bit of time today, and I know we have some soars and friends and guests who are still on their way, but we are prayerful that the weather holds out, and I think it will. God is with us and always on our side no matter what. But today is a good day. It is fitting that we start our convention with a public meeting, because what we are about always and everywhere is public service and work in our community. And we want to celebrate the beginning of our celebration of our 54th National Convention by celebrating it with those we care about the most, and that is our friends in the public and our friends in the Divine Nine that have joined us on the stage tonight. Don't they look just grand? I mean, look at them. Handsome and cute and all that stuff. Tonight and today and through this weekend, our theme really is the vision that we have for Delta Sigma Theta for this biennium. And I don't think there's a Delta around, I hope, that doesn't know the theme that I've chosen for Delta Sigma Theta during my term of office is joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our heart. First and foremost, it is important that we as members of this organization love each other, support each other, and have joy in our sisterhood as we move about the business of Delta. And once we take care of ourselves and make sure that that joy and unity is strong, we can take the unity that we have as an organization and ensure that there is power in our voice. We use that power for social action. We use that power for community service. We use that power to empower others. We take the gifts that God has given them and put us together to make sure that we are strong in as an organization and powerful in what we do and who we support. When you look out on the sea and you see who's here, and we are a good 16,000 strong here, that power and the power of the unity of the Divine Nine, that's applause. When you take that together, we as a community, we as a people can change this world. And that's the intent of why we come together, not here just to celebrate Delta Sigma Theta, but to celebrate tonight those of us who are here in sisterhood and in brotherhood and coming together to make sure our community and our world is strong, especially in times such as this. Service in our heart. Even though our foundation was on the Suffragette March in 1913, that march was not only to ensure that we were involved in social action, but to make sure our communities were empowered, that our communities were served. And our intent was to start off this meeting with a day of impact. The weather stopped us, but that does not stop the service that we're going to give in the communities we have. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of us and with us. Thank you as we celebrate the joy that we all bring together, the power that is us as we come together, and the service that we can do as a community together. Thank you and good evening.
Good afternoon. To our 26th National President, Beverly E. Smith, past National Presidents, Executive Committee, National, Regional, State, and local leadership, as well as members of the mighty Divine Nine, sorors, family members, and friends from all over the world, welcome to New Orleans. On behalf of the New Orleans Alumni Chapter, under the leadership of Linda Howard Curtis and the 5 collegiate chapters in our city, we are so very happy to see you. We have been waiting for you. Shout out to honorary convention chairs, 24th past National President Cynthia Butler McIntyre and past National Secretary Gloria Bryant Banks for all of your wisdom, advice, and counsel through this planning process. Thank you to my sensational convention steering committee. They have worked tirelessly for well over a year to make your stay in New Orleans both meaningful and memorable. And the way the weather has gone today, I think it will definitely be memorable. And thank you to our sponsors, supporters, and friends. We could not have done this without you. The excitement on social media and across the city has reached a fever pitch. Posts, likes, hashtags, and comments announce the Deltas are coming, the Deltas are coming. Well, friends, look around. The Deltas are up in here. We hope you will engage in everything we have planned for you, including, at the conclusion of this session, an authentic New Orleans second line to our Taste of New Orleans welcome reception at Mardi Gras World right next door. At the end of most conventions, after all our business has been conducted and you've purchased everything you possibly can from the vendors, you leave with souvenirs. Well, while you're in the city at this time for this convention, we want you to celebrate our culture bearers, our world-renowned musicians, chefs, Mardi Gras Indians, walking groups, to name a few. But when you leave New Orleans this time, we want you to not only leave with a souvenir, we want you to leave with a story that you'll retell for the rest of your life. Thank you. Enjoy the convention. C'est les bon temps, roulez. Let the good times roll.
As she mentioned, we have some amazing sponsors of this year's convention, and we are so excited to hear from our diamond level sponsor next. Before moving on, they sent video greetings from Johnson & Johnson. I do want to make you aware of a couple of things. First and foremost, because we know that so many of our sisters had difficulty getting here today, and that many of our sisters wanted to be here but could not join us. So we are so excited that this public meeting is live streaming on Delta's YouTube channel. Trying to bring a little bit of the convention to Deltas all over the globe. So getting your group meets, send text messages to your line sisters and your chapter members and ask them if they see you on the live stream because you are here. And we also want to remind you of our official convention hashtags because we know that Delta has the power to trend. So any pictures and photos that you are putting on social media, we ask that you use the hashtag DST Convention 2019 and our traditional hashtag DST 1913 so we can capture your photos as well. New Orleans is a wonderful city filled with amazing people, some of whom are here to bring greetings to us at this time. We're excited to have local representatives for the city with us this afternoon. After we watch the video sent by our diamond sponsor, Johnson & Johnson, I will invite the following to the podium to bring greetings. From the mayor's office, we have Tanisha Stevens, the Criminal Justice Commissioner for the City of New Orleans, followed by Council Member Banks from the New Orleans City Council. If you would come in that order after we hear words from our diamond sponsor. Thank you.
It starts with a spark of a dream, an idea, a passionate desire to make a difference. The spark is fueled with hope and confidence and support along the way. It's a journey paved with inspiration, aspiration, collaboration, appreciation, validation, and at times, exasperation. Don't fear, don't veer. Obstacles are just opportunities to think differently, act differently, be seen differently. Nothing can dim the spark. Mentors, inventors, innovators, nurturers, leaders, pioneers, you can be what you want to be, lead what you want to lead, create your own world to make our world a better place. Around the globe, around the block, around our office, we at J&J are helping women become leaders who become agents of change, anchors of our family, drivers of our global economy. We are their champions, their partners, fueling dreams, fueling people, fueling the future of human health. It starts with a spark of a dream, an idea, a passionate desire to make a difference. Ignite and see how far a spark can go.
Great evening to the 26th National President, Sarah Beverly Evans Smith, officers of the National Board, and the national officers and representatives assembled here. Great evenings and greetings from the City of New Orleans Mayor's Office. I am honored to be here representing Mayor LaToya Cantrell and the City of New Orleans to show appreciation and love to none other than Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It is wonderful to be amongst my sorors, my shakers, my movers, and my divas. To live out our mission of joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our heart. That is what we do. I am grateful, very grateful, to work alongside the first female mayor in 300 years in the city of New Orleans, Louisiana. But I am even more excited that she will not be the last. As the City of New Orleans Crime Commissioner, remaining connected to all of our powerful women, our women making strides for us, I always think of the little girls who look up to me, and that keeps me motivated to keep moving. Every day, we are working to make the City of New Orleans the city of yes, inclusion for all of our people. Throughout the mayor's work and the work of the administration, we're guided by meeting people where they are, being intentional in serving our communities, listening to everyone, no matter who they are, and breaking down silos so that we can all work together for a common good. It is important for us to stay connected, to stay prayed up together, and also to look after one another. While on this journey, I encourage all of us sisters to encourage everyone all the time, every day. We hope you enjoy your stay here. Unfortunately, the weather has come, but we will get through this. We are a resilient city, we are resilient people, and this is just a little taste of what we dealt with 15 years ago. But we are very happy that you are here. Explore the city and the unique experiences she has to offer. On behalf of Mayor LaToya Cantrell and the City of New Orleans, thank you for coming. Enjoy your stay, turn up, and Enjoy the City of New Orleans.
Good afternoon. My name is J.H. Banks, and I have the honor and pleasure of being the City Councilman from District B on City Council here in New Orleans. You are currently in my district. As a councilman, I have the pleasure and opportunity to welcome many groups to the city. And I always invite people to enjoy all that New Orleans has to offer. You see, because New Orleans is the most magical, special city on the planet. And I know all y'all came from somewhere. But the fact is that you will have more fun here than you will have anywhere else. The food, the music, the culture, the history, the people, all blend together to make New Orleans an experience that you will never forget. And as a saying that I like to tell people, see, once you get into New Orleans will get into you. We want very much so for you to enjoy all that we have, and want very much so for you want to come back again. I know this is not the first national convention that has been here, and I would hope that the president and all the national officers consider making this a biannual thing. Y'all can file an essence every 2 years. I think that would be great. But as I stand before you, I am wearing multiple hats. You see, because not only am I blessed enough to be the council member from District B and welcoming you here on behalf of the City Council, I happen to be the son of a Delta, Gloria Bryant Banks, who is your convention co-chair. I happen to be the husband of a Delta, Artelia Bennett Banks, so I'm welcoming you here because of that. I happen to be the sister-in-law to 3 Deltas, the father-in-law to my daughter, who is a Delta, my de facto sisters, Cynthia's one, and Arnell, and Adrell, and all of these other Deltas that I have grown up with my entire life, cousins to Deltas. I see Brenda sitting out there, and I know Carol's out there somewhere, and all those other Nikitas, and all those other family members that are Deltas. And then my nieces, Bailey and Shannon and Dejan and Brittany, and the list goes on and on. You see, I am extremely honored to be surrounded by so many Deltas. And I know that the man I am today was sculpted by those influence of all of those multiple mothers that I have, all of those multitude of sisters that I have, all of the family that I have helped me to be where I am today. And I am eternally grateful to them for all that they have done to get me here. So I'm here welcoming you as if there was ever going to be a male Delta, him would be me. And one more thing on that Delta thing, I've got the honor of being the escort of the New Orleans alumni Delta Cotillion for more years than any other person in the history. My mother would get me, if a young lady didn't have a sister or brother, I was the one. So for me, I was a senior at Dillard doing the Delta Cotillion, y'all. That's a whole nother conversation. And then finally, I am honored to welcome you here in a whole nother capacity. I was sitting there and I received a text from a gentleman whose name is Keith Pittman, who told me that I look good in this crimson suit, Noop. Well, to be clear, I'm a 37-year member, a life member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And if you cut me, I will bleed purple, and when I spit gold. But look, I can wear this crimson and cream, and I know I make this look good, y'all. So with all due respect, Keith, I know you would have wanted me to be, but I promise you I'm not. Thank you very much. So ladies, in closing, I'm gonna put my council hat back on. There is a very serious issue that has taken place. We cannot control the weather, And I'd like for each of you all to put it in your phones or to write it down, www.ready.nola.gov. If you go to that website will have updates on the weather. Now, there's nothing for anybody to panic about. We have done this dance before. You are in no better place on this planet to be able to deal with a weather event than in New Orleans. But you still need to be weather aware to make sure that you are safe and get back to your destinations. So with that, again, welcome, enjoy, and I'm glad that I get to be here in all those capacities. Thank you.
Nothing like a greeting from an Omega. To continue the greetings at our public meeting, we will now hear from those who understand the privilege of being Greek, our Divine Nine brothers and sisters. Again, we know that some have had to make last-minute changes and send representatives because they were unable to get out of airports and get here in a timely manner. But as you know, we are so happy to have the leadership from D9 organizations here with us. Of course, our national president serves on the National Panhellenic Council with the other presidents. So we will welcome our brothers and sisters from the National Panhellenic Council who will bring greetings. We will begin with the representative from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Shaman Grant Saloy. We also have the leadership of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority. I'm going to call you in the order of which you will speak and just allow you to come and bring your greetings, followed by Alpha Phi Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Phi Beta Sigma, Sigma Gamma Rho. I've already called her. And then last, we will hear from NPHC. If you will come in that order, beginning with the sororities, then the fraternities, and lastly, we will hear from NPHC in your own way. 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. Greetings, Ms. Evans, Board of Directors, Ms. Elam, Convention Committee, everyone who serves Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and guests. I am not Dr. Glenda Baskin Glover. She unfortunately wasn't able to make it due to the weather, and she asked me to step in for her. I'm so excited to welcome you here on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and to the city of New Orleans. You have already had a successful convention because you've weathered the storm. Thank you so much for persevering to be here. We look forward to the boost in our economy that I've already helped with. We look forward to your educational seminars. I've already taken part in your CLEs today. And it's my extreme pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, and the city of New Orleans. Enjoy your conference, learn a lot, engage a lot, spend a lot, and come back and see us again really soon. Thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful 54th National Convention.
To the amazing women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and my dear friend, Beverly Smith, National President and CEO of this amazing organization. To your board of directors, all sorors, my sisters, and distinguished guests. It is truly an honor to be here with you this evening. I see so many familiar faces. The Council of Past National Presidents, let's give them a round of applause. I bring you greetings as the 24th International Grand Basileus of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated from the undeniable sophisticated women of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. We are sisters in Greekdom. Joining me this evening, I have our highest ranking undergraduate officer, Sora Christy Nance, in the audience, along with our executive director from Sigma Gamma Rho's corporate headquarters in Cary, North Carolina, Cynthia Eubanks. I'd like to acknowledge them at this time. Beverly, I want to thank you for extending this invitation. I would not have missed it. So glad I came in last night and not today. Please accept this, my sorors and sisters in Greekdom of Delta Sigma Theta, as this is your early invitation to join the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated in Indianapolis, Indiana in July of 2022 for our centennial. It was just a few days ago that I was at Essence Festival, and I know that Beverly, you were there as well. There were many amazing moments at the festival where we celebrated and the empowerment of African American women across this nation and the world. There were many special moments. One of my favorites was when Gayle King introduced and interviewed our forever First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama. I'm sure the women of Delta Sigma Theta sorority will experience many momentous occasions and moments during your 54th National Convention. Beverly, we have been on a leadership journey together for a few years now, serving at the same time simultaneously as the national vice presidents of our respective organizations and now national presidents. You have been an amazing partner. You have been extremely collaborative and very, very inspiring and encouraging. I also want to acknowledge you on behalf of the NPHC Council of Presidents, where I have the honor of serving as the chair of the Council of Presidents for the Divine Nine sororities and fraternities. And again, your partnership and collaboration has been a godsend. I would like to lead you with a couple of things, leave you with a few items here, token of love, appreciation, and in the spirit of sisterhood. Because you see, my Delta sisters, we are all in the struggle together. We just happen to have on different colors and different letters. And as the Council of Presidents, we all demonstrate that bond, no matter what organization. We are all focused on improving the quality of life of people, our people specifically, across this community in the United States and the world. And so I want to provide you with a small token of love, appreciation, and sisterhood, and wish you and the sorors of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated an amazing conference.
To President Beverly Smith, the 26th National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, past national presidents, members of the National Board of Executive Directors, and members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. On behalf of the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, it is indeed an honor as General President of Alpha Phi Alpha to bring you greetings during your 54th National Convention. As a premier global public service sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority is needed now more than ever before. The current political and cultural climate engulfing our nation demands that university women and university men who hold membership in the community of the Divine Nine intensify our determination to never return to the days of racial injustice. From January 13th, 1913 until this very moment, Delta women have boldly addressed critical issues confronting the African American community. Through your courageous leadership, beginning on March 3rd, 1913, to March for Women, particularly African American women, to have the right to vote has been amplified in 2019. because of the enormous voting power of African American women. That deserves a round of applause. When unprecedented political oppression demanded uncompromising leadership, Delta Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm answered the call as a founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus and the first African-American female to be a candidate for President of the United States of America. She was unbossed and unbought by American political institutions. When constitutional integrity and electoral progress of this nation was being jeopardized by the President of the United States, it was Delta Congressman Barbara Jordan who stood as a constitutional scholar while others found comfort in silence. The resurgence of racial hatred, strategically targeted voter suppression directed to African American voters requires that we unite as a collective force of members of the Divine Nine. I now understand how Moses felt standing on the shore of the Red Sea. Just as the Red Sea opened by God's grace to serve as a pathway for freedom and equality for the Israelites thousands of years ago, in 2019, the Delta Sigma Theta Sea of Crimson and Cream, the sea of sisterhood, must continue to serve as that pathway for our people to be free from discrimination and injustice. Now, more than ever, we know that the Red Sea of Freedom, I've got an emergency alert for the American society, and that emergency alert reads thusly: be advised that African American men and African American women are united, and our collective power will serve to take back this, not take the backward steps of the 2019 attorney Jim Crow or Dr. Jane Crow. We are never going back to the days of yesterday. The men of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, many of whom are here today, including our regional vice president, Terrence Robinson, who represents the Southwestern region, all will always lead the charge to fight the battle and win the war against injustice. And so to you, my good friend and sister in the struggle, Dr. Beverly, would you join me to aid you in your continuous Delta political and civic engagement strategies? Enclosed, we have some financial ammunition to ensure that democracy has no limitations based on the color of your skin, because the fight is real and we are in the struggle. And no matter who occupies the Oval Office, tell them that Delta is here, Alpha is here, Kappa is here, Omega is here, Iota is here, AKA is here, Zeta is here, and Sigma Gamma Rho is here, and we shall never go back to the days of old. For you.
To our national president and CEO, Beverly Smith, to the national officers, to our past national presidents, to the members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Kappa Silhouettes, you're in the house. To our brothers and sisters of the Divine Nine, to the dignitaries and special guests here this afternoon, on behalf of our Grand Board of Directors and the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, I'm proud to bring you greetings on behalf of our grand fraternity. I'm proud to be here with you as you celebrate your 54th National Convention here in New Orleans. It is indeed a privilege that I stand before you at this illustrious occasion. Deltas, you are great leaders in this country. Deltas have shown what women can accomplish as leaders in government, industry, politics, entertainment, education, medicine, and many other fields in which women and African Americans have made remarkable achievements. And in Kappa, we say, in every field of human endeavor. Yes, Deltas, you continue to be the models and role models for young women and a symbol of the rewards of education and determination. Therefore, to everyone here, get ready to learn what the Deltas can do, the goals that they have for this country. Because when Deltas roll, they leave their mark. And Deltas, as you embark on the ambitious undertakings, always know that you can count on the brothers of the Crimson and Cream for unwavering support. We so clearly see the joy in your sisterhood. We so loudly hear the power in your voice. And we so deeply feel the service in your heart. As you know, Bev, this is my last term as Grand Pole Mark. So I dropped the mic in Philadelphia in a couple of weeks. We've done a lot together in this country and some of the other past presidents, Paulette and others, but we will still continue the fight. I guess I'll join Paulette on the foundation and we can raise a little sand up in Congress and some other places. But I want to just say, Pastor Boyd, thank you for being on that flight with us this morning. Because we put up some timber this morning on that flight. The Deltas was on that flight and Pastor Boyd was there too. That's the power of the Deltas. That's the power of those Deltas. So we've been doing some things together in the air that we didn't do on the ground. Everybody say amen. So I want to thank you for all the support that you've shown Kappa and you've shown me these 4 years. We're going to keep fighting for causes that are important to us in Congress, in the State House, in local chapters all across this country. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. But know that the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi will be there with you, and I know you'll be there with us. So thank you, Beverly. On behalf of all of the brothers, you know, when you care enough to give the very best, we go to Tiffany's. So thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you. And we got them for you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, Saraz. I see Dr. Ward and Thomas trying to start something. coming down to this mic, so we might have to get to fighting here in a minute. Are the men of Omega in the house? I'd like to hear it a little bit better than that. Are the men of Omega in the house? Sisters, I want to apologize for that. I've been asking brothers to make this transition from Q-Dog to Omega Man, and God help us, we still working on that. But I excuse you tonight, brothers, because when you're in the presence of over 15,000 deltas, you're allowed to lose your mind. I know you were struggling there. I figured that old Negro spiritual was repeating itself in your head. Why must I be like that? My sisters, I bring you greetings from over 150,000 initiated Omega men in 750 chapters in 14 countries. Looking at your beauty this evening reminds me of those famous words of that great philosopher, Grady Wilson, from the show Sanford and Son. Looking at you, I just want to say, good googly goo. Gladys Knight said, ain't nothing like a good woman. I was taught that if there was no God to worship, the only thing worth worshiping would be a woman. I kind of felt that too. Old folks used to say that God and a good wife are the two best things a man can have. And the Bible says, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And my sisters, you have been a good thing to the men of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. And Madam President, you've been a good thing to Omega and a good thing to me. Your grace and your kindness and your patience and your honesty and your candor have not gone unnoticed. You have allowed me to consult you and bend your ear day or night. And my sisters, there is no stronger a voice, no one quicker off mute to give Delta's position or take a stand on an issue on our Council of Presidents call than Madam President Beverly Smith. And it was important for me to fly here. I flew here from my own international meeting in Atlantic City to greet my sisters and to look in your eyes and say thank you for all that you do. Now, to those Constitution purists, we don't need a Constitution to speak to a relationship between Omega and Delta when our relationship existed long before the formation of either one of our organizations. Several of our founders were in the 1909-1910 Howard University freshman class. Many of them were in the College of Arts and Sciences and took many classes together. We've seen pictures of them together at the Howard University Lincoln University football game in 1913. 14 of our founders graduated together in 1913. And our founder, Professor Frank Coleman, chose to marry one of your founders, Mary Edna Brown, on May 25th, 1918. And when Mary Edna Brown Coleman died on September 25th, 1919, from complications from childbirth, and their infant daughter died within 2 days, this man's sorrow was immeasurable. He grieved, and he grieved for years for his wife, as evidenced by the fact that he would post a tribute to her every year on the date of her death in the local newspaper. In Omega Psi Phi, we are taught about this kind of love, and we call it Coleman love. He never forgot his beloved Edna, and the brothers of Omega Psi Phi will never forget our sisters of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I like that. That was a little stronger there. I like that one. Madam President, you'll get many gifts this weekend. I see Tom trying to show out a little bit with roses. But I want to give you a crystal rose. Grandmama would say it's that real crystal with a touch of purple on it so that you can remember Omega Psi Phi all the days of your life. May you have a great conference, and may God bless you and the Sisters of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you.
Greetings to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and to our 26th National President, Mrs. Beverly E. Smith, past presidents, general counsel, and members of this great organization. I am Mark Nichols, the former regional polaris of Iota Pi Theta for the Southern region, and currently state director. I was thinking about what to say when I was asked to come here, and so I said, they are devastating divas. So I looked up diva. I didn't like that word right there, because, you know, they had some things. So I went to the Urban Dictionary. I said, let me go to my roots, you know, because the Urban Dictionary. And it's one who exudes and shows personality and confidence. I said, that's the Delta. That's what I'm looking for. It's a person whose characters makes them stand out amongst the crowd. Then said the noun is a person who people want to emulate. I'm like, that's truly what a Delta is. In all my years of knowing Deltas, I knew them to be the ones who did not mind telling me what to do. Even in college, Delta told me what to do. And that made me the man that I am today. When I became regional polaris, I was like, okay, so I got the position. And it was a Delta deer that came to me and said, you're going to do it. I said, huh? She said, you're going to do it. Don't worry about it. I got your back. And for every place that I've ever lived in, there's always been a Delta that came to me and said, you are now my son. And what I say, do, you do. I said, yes, ma'am, I got you. So I appreciate the love and admiration that Deltas have given us, our oldest, because we are the babies, and y'all take us in. And when the Delta takes me in, I'm not afraid to say, yeah, I'm the youngest one. So on behalf of our International Grand Polaris who could not be here today, we have a token of our appreciation for you. Just a little something. You know, so use it wisely, give it back to me. But I do appreciate you and hope that you have a great conference here, great convention, and welcome to the state of Louisiana and New Orleans.
Good evening, sorors and fratters. My name is Donna Jones Anderson, and I am the National Alumni Chair of the National Panhellenic Council. Today, I am representing Vanetta Cheeks Reeder, our national president, who is attending the Phi Beta Sigma conference in Vegas, as her husband, her boo, is a Sigma man. So we're not mad at her that she skipped this event, and I'm so happy that I could bring greetings on behalf of NPHC to my beloved Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I would like to shout out to my beloved Philadelphia Alumni Chapter, and NPHC is all over the world. I help charter chapters all over, and we're in the talks now to charter 2 chapters in Japan who are really excited about joining. One of our themes, one of NPHC themes is that we are stronger together, and indeed we are stronger together. We are a collaboration of all the 9 sororities and fraternities, mostly African American, all Christian-based, and we get calls all the time for others that want to join us, but there are strict regulations in order to join NPHC, as it should be. As we say we're stronger together, can I get you to stand and stay standing so that we could see all of us here together? Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And they're coming to Philly in a couple of weeks. Just want to shout out. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. And Delta Sigma Theta. Thank you, sorors and fratters. We would love to have you join us for the NPHC National Leadership Conference. It's scheduled for October 17th through the 20th in Memphis, Tennessee. We are actively planning and working on 3 tracks of workshops for our collegiates, for our alumni, sorors and fratters, and also for the college counselors. We have tracks for those as well. So we have exciting workshops, leadership potential for anyone that attends the conference, and we would love to have you join us in October. Soror President Smith from the Black and White of NPHC. I have a black and white bag from Saks Fifth Avenue, and I would like to present you with a gift certificate. I saw a beautiful white sparkly clutch bag that I wanted to buy for you, and it was on sale. It was 60% off, and I said, oh, so what is the final price? And it was still $1,500. So you can't shop till you drop there, but you can get a little something, something. Thank you, and welcome to New Orleans.
Thank you again to all the representatives of the Divine Nine and NPHC. Let's give them a round of applause. Some say that no matter the letter, we're all Greek together. And we know with the issues that are plaguing our communities, and even looking at Delta's 5-point programmatic thrust, that we are all doing great things. And so we do salute them and we thank them for bringing greetings. At this time, we will be blessed with a musical selection by Delta member Phaedra Brown.
Greetings. So our national president, my beloved sorors, he who makes the sun shine also brings the rain. And in all things, we're going to give him glory.
Can I say thanks for the things he has done for me? Things so undeserved, yet you gave to prove your love for me. The voices of a million angels cannot express my gratitude. All that I am and ever hope to be, I owe it all to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. God glory. Praise God.
Oh, Jesus. I think we need a minute. So, President, should we pull out the offering plates now? Or wait for ecumenical? Thank you for blessing us. To God be the glory for the things he has done. We're on a time schedule, so I won't go there, but that is a blessing, and thank you for sharing your talents and your gifts with us. As we continue with our welcome program, we have some dynamic community activists and servants with us this afternoon that we will now begin to present some of our sororities' highest honors and awards. Our presentation of awards will be given by our national commissions and committees, followed by special awards from President Smith. They will come in this order. The Clara M. Hale Award will be presented by Andrea Jeffries, Chair of Delta's National Program Planning and Development Committee. The Delta Professor Endowed Chair Award will be presented by its chair, Dr. Joan M. Price. The National Information and Communications Committee will then present the Lillian Award and the Ethel Payne Award. And then our national president has special awards of excellence that she will present, followed by her Vision Awards under the theme Joy in Our Sisterhood, Power in Our Voice, and Service in Our Heart. To the honorees, as your name is called, please head down to greet our national president. We do have photographers who will be taking the official event photos. Assisting us with the awards process will be Lucy Frierson of the Charlotte Alumni Chapter from the South Atlantic region. Translation, she will be our Vanna Black and bring the awards for presentation with President Smith. If they will come in this order, beginning with Andrea Jeffries.
Good afternoon. The Clara M. Hale Humanitarian Award commemorates the work of Clara M. Hale, an honorary member who established an infant home for unwanted babies whose mothers could not or would not care for them. It is bestowed upon individuals who exemplify the spirit, love, dedication, and caring for those who are neglected, abused, or abandoned. The 2019 recipient of the Clara M. Hale Humanitarian Award is Candace Payne. Candace Payne is a serial entrepreneur from Chicago, Illinois, who has started several businesses that helped mold her into the businesswoman she is today. She received her degree in business administration. Candace loves every aspect of the real estate business. She is truly a people person who works very hard and aggressive to make sure that her clients are satisfied. As temperatures plunged to life-threatening lows in February of 2019 in Chicago, Illinois, more than 100 homeless people found themselves in unexpected conditions, found themselves without food, fresh clothes, and a place to stay after a local real estate broker intervened. Candace Payne said it was a spur-of-the-moment decision to help. It was 50 degrees below, and she knew they were going to be sleeping on ice, and she had to do something. Ms. Payne contacted hotels and found 30 rooms available at the Amber Inn on Wednesday night for $70 a room. Temperatures in Chicago reached lows of -25 and -26 on Wednesday and Thursday. After Ms. Payne paid for the rooms on a credit card, she asked on her Instagram account for anyone who could help to transport the homeless people. Soon she had a caravan of cars, SUVs, and vans with volunteer drivers. Ms. Payne bought toiletries, food, prenatal vitamins, lotions, deodorants, and snacks, and more care packages to help make the people feel comfortable. Restaurants donated trays of food, and many people called to help at the end. What started off as 30 rooms doubled to 60. The rooms were only supposed to be occupied until Thursday of that week, when temperatures in Chicago were expected to be moderate. But the donations allowed Ms. Payne to have available housing to the people and feed them through Sunday. Donations that totaled more than $10,000. Ms. Payne simply said, "I am a regular person." And it sounded like a rich person did this. But I'm just a little black girl from the south side of Chicago. I thought it was unattainable. But after seeing this and seeing people from all around the world, that just tells me that it's not unattainable what we can do together. Please welcome and congratulate the recipient of the Clara M. Payne Award, Humanitarian Award, Ms. Candace Payne. Ms. Payne, this is extremely heavy. Let me hold it. That was right now. Oh, okay. These are your. Just put it this way. Look past it. Yeah. Sit it down.
So I want to say, first of all, thank you to Beverly Smith, the executive committee, and all of the Delta organization for recognizing me and having me here. Before the polar vortex in February, I would walk past, I've forgotten, I'll put some money in a cup and keep it moving. Homeless is an epidemic not just in Chicago, it's all over the world. In those negative 50-degree weather that we had in February, being in those hotel rooms for 5 days with 122 people, from kids, women, veterans, pregnant women, the elderly, it done something else to my heart. It put a different focus in my life. It gave me a different purpose. These 122 people are here in 122 different circumstances. This is one of the most emotional periods of my life. And from there, I knew that I had to do something. I knew that this was a temporary solution to a permanent problem. Have you ever had a problem that in your head is too big to solve? Because that's how I felt for those 5 days. And me and my significant other, we decided that with our passion for real estate, that we would help. We formed a not-for-profit called Action for Cause. Last month, I closed on my third multi-unit, and we're raising funds to renovate these properties to help get our homeless friends off of the city of Chicago streets. Now, understanding housing is not just the only solution to this. We've joined partnerships with other organizations in the community to help with the job training, the job placement, mental health, other different social services that we're not capable of actually providing. Be the change you want to see and take action for a cause. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to greet our National President and CEO, Beverly Smith, our National Executive Committee, our past presidents, our National Executive Board, our wonderful Divine Nine representatives, and to all those that are assembled here. The Distinguished Professor Endowed Chair is a 4-decade strategic initiative that supports and advances the work of higher education scholars at historically Black colleges and universities, and the work improves the quality of life for those of the African diaspora. In 1977, the chair was established under the administration of Delta Sigma Theta's Incorporated 16th National President, Dr. Thelma Thomas Daly. And many of you are aware of her famous quote that states, "Some walls crumble, but the walls of Black colleges must hold on." Yes. Please note that the institution is awarded biennially, and it is the holder of the Distinguished Chair. The primary professor of research holds the title for 2 years of the Distinguished Professor. Our current biennial award is $200,000 per biennium. Yes, that's very nice. And please also note that this traveling scholarly chair is the first and only one of its kind in the nation. Yes. So without further ado, it is going to be our pleasure right now to present the 2019-2021 institution with our traveling chair. I'm going to ask that two of my national committee members, Dr. Aaliyah Holmes from the Suffolk County, New York chapter, and Jeanette Jo Blakely from the Inglewood Alumni chapter, walk very quickly up to the stage and proceed to bring out the check. And by the way, the real check will be in the mail, but they will go here and they will bring the check out for it. Thank you. So, without further ado, and a drum roll from everyone present, on behalf of our national president and CEO, it is our pleasure to present the 2019-2021 award to Dillard University. And on behalf of Dillard University, absolutely, we have here Dr. Walter Kimbrough, who is president, if you would come forward, along with the 2019-2021 Distinguished Professor, Dr. Ruby Broadway. Please note that they are being awarded their proposal, which will focus on the devastating effects of cultural food and obesity on African American youth. And we are pleased and proud to present this award to them. Dr. Kimbrough, if you would.
Good afternoon, Delta Sigma Theta.
Good afternoon.
All right, as I make these remarks, I'm going to also ask Dr. Chantel Hebert-McGee to join us for a picture as well, who is a visiting professor last year at Harvard, who will be assisting us with our project. I'm going to have to make y'all say good afternoon again. I'm going to tell you why. This morning, about 8 o'clock or so, I got the text messages that there might be a tornado in my neighborhood. And having lived in Little Rock for a while, I was like, oh, I think this is serious. So my son and I looked downstairs and saw the rain moving sideways. And I was like, I think we better get in the laundry room. So about a half an hour later, we came out and we looked outside and limbs down, little things. But 2 doors down from us, the house looked like it had been hit by just some kind of massive destruction. Gas line broke 2 doors down from us. But I was like, there was nothing that was going to keep me from being here today. One of the reasons, and I can't brag like my alumnus, Jay Banks, you know, he bragged, he married a Delta. My wife's an AKA. I still look. But you know, back when I was at school at the University of Georgia, we had something known as a Line King, the person that helped the line out the most. So for the Zeta Psi chapter at the University of Georgia, their winter 1987 Lion King was me. And just like Congressman Banks, my mom is a member of Delta Sigma Theta, initiated into the Kappa chapter at the University of California, Berkeley in 1956. So all this Delta in me, I had to be here with y'all, so y'all got to give me a little bit more than that. Good afternoon. Very quickly, 1869, the United Methodist Church creates what's known as New Orleans University. Also in 1869, the United Church of Christ, then the American Missionary Association, created what's known as Straight University. They merged those two schools in 1930 to create what's now today known as Dillard University. So all of this year, we've been celebrating what's known as a sesquicentennial, 150 years here in New Orleans as Dillard University. So we've had lots of great events all year long, great commencement. We just had a sesquicentennial gala headlined by Patti LaBelle where we raised over $1.1 million to support our students here at Dillard University. We just finished a second year where 23% of our alums gave. We have the highest alumni giving rate of any college or university in the state of Louisiana. So we have support, and I'm looking forward to Friday where the members of Beta Gamma will present me with another big check. That's right, y'all get hyped about that because I'm looking forward to Friday to get this check. So we're excited. So, Madam President, past national presidents, several whom I know very well. I'm tired of presidents telling me, I knew you when you were little. There's several of them that can tell me that, like, I've known you a long time. So past national presidents, officers, members of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, on behalf of Dillard University, the Beta Gamma chapter founded in 1937, the home of your 24th national president, Cynthia Butler McIntyre, did I do that okay? Okay. That's my friend. I knew her before I got here. We are excited to be the recipient of this great honor, this distinguished professorship. We will definitely do the work that our community needs that represents not only Dillard University, but Delta Sigma Theta. So thank you for this honor. We're excited about it and look forward to this partnership for these next 2 years. Thank you. Yeah, we'll come out here.
Would it tilt? Okay, there you go.
I am excited to now present the Lillian Award on behalf of the National Information and Communications Committee. The Lillian Award is a salute to outstanding national media individuals named in honor of the late Lillian Pierce Benbow, 15th National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Recognition is given to individuals who have excelled in the following areas: print and broadcast media, public relations, and more. The first awards were presented in 1985. The 2019 recipient of the Lillian Award has asked that in lieu of a personal introduction, we present the following video.
Okay, these are the facts. One
third of all black children are living in poverty.
Living in poverty.
These are the facts.
These are the facts.
6.6% of all
African American births are to mothers under the age of 18.
1 in 4 Latinas is a teen mother.
The
infant mortality rate for black babies is more than twice that of the national average and rising.
These are the facts. Nearly half of all black and Latino children drop out before graduating from high school.
Every day in America, more than 1,000 black children are arrested.
1 in every 8 black men aged 25 to 29.
25 to 29 is incarcerated.
Our young Latinos are over-incarcerated as well.
For young black women aged 25 to 34.
HIV/AIDS is the leading cause of death.
The leading cause of death.
And the leading cause of death For our boys.
For our young black men, it's homicide.
Homicide.
But these are also the facts. From the hundreds of rebellions that took place on slave ships, to the students who sat in Greensboro, and the students who walked out in Soweto, we have always fought back, always cared for our own, always resisted injustice. We are the people who refuse to die. Like then, what's important now is that we not retreat, not surrender our tradition of faith and that can-do spirit. We can create powerful lives and end the state of emergency among our young. This is the sole purpose for the National Cares Mentoring Movement. Throughout the nation, our dedicated Cares Circle leaders are hard at work. They're closing that huge gap between the relatively few black mentors and the many impoverished black children in need of our encouragement. We're working on behalf of all children who are poor and struggling. The National Cares Mentoring Movement, founded as Essence Cares, recruits caring adults to serve as role models, tutors, reading buddies, guides, friends, and deploys them to schools, mentoring organizations, and to the academic enrichment programs CARES is building with our partners. Disproportionate numbers of black children are on waiting lists, and they're hoping that a caring adult will soon show up. And there's a critical need for the wisdom and strength of our beautiful black men. The children need you so. All we're asking is this, that you give 1 hour a week to help save a life and secure a child.
You can mentor.
You can mentor one of the 2.4 million children.
2.4
million.
Almost 2.5 million children.
Who has a parent in prison.
You can get five
friends.
5 friends to register.
To register and vote.
Failing schools, the carnage in our communities, celebration of thug life, the over-incarceration and relentless demonization of black males, the demeaning of black women. No, not on our watch.
You can demand your church.
You can demand your church.
You can demand your church be open for children after school.
And on Saturdays.
In order to teach our kids an accurate account of their history,
Our faith communities can offer the support our children
are longing for.
Reading, math, science, technology, high expectations, and love. With our partners, these are the group mentoring supports National Cares is bringing to challenged schools. Help grow and sustain this movement by going online and making a donation. No amount is too small. Connect with your local Cares Mentor Recruitment Circle. We've lived through harder and harsher times than these. Like then, the most revolutionary thing we can do right now is to love one another, become a mentor, help to secure the most vulnerable among us, our children, our beloved children.
so I'm in.
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 Are you?
We're excited to present the 2019 recipient of the Lillian Award. We ask that the members of Delta Sigma Theta please stand for our honorary member and tonight's recipient, Susan L. Taylor.
Thank you, President Beverly Smith, beloved, and all of the past presidents. All of you, each of you, has been so very supportive of National Cares. And, you know, I'm here but for one reason. The village is on fire. The village is on fire. And the children are screaming loudly. And I really thank you, Sora Beverly, for playing that video, because it says what's in my heart, and it's spoken by people who cared enough to pause and create that video for the National Cares Mentoring Movement, founded right here as Essence Cares, after Katrina flooded this city. And I said to myself, what could we ask the hundreds of thousands of people who come from all over the country to do that would change the lives of the most vulnerable sector in this nation? You know who they are? Poor black children. Black children living in poverty. There's no sector suffering more gravely than our children. And, you know, 37 years at Essence and 25 music festivals. I thought that I knew what poverty looked like because if you know Essence, you know that we cover the waterfront. We cover what's beautiful and what's painful. And I come from a woman who taught me that every problem has a solution. And I believe that. And so the request was that we go back to our respective cities and begin to mentor through the organizations for whom National Cares recruits mentors. This is what we do across the nation. We recruit mentors, black mentors, because when the call goes out for mentors, it's white women who are the first responders. They're the first responders because disproportionately, they have more leisure time than we do. I mean, we may look good and make a little bit of money, but we have Boo and, Pookie and them who we have to take care of and a lot of pulling on our energy. That's real. But that didn't happen. And so Essence Cares became the National Cares Mentoring Movement. I continued working at Essence, and when I learned that 80% of black fourth graders were reading below grade level, I said the Essence family, after 37 years, doesn't need me anymore. My community does. And so I really don't deserve an award. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, what we're all supposed to do. And that is really to help the most vulnerable among us, children who are struggling in poverty. I did not know what poverty really looked like. Young brother in Alameda County Detention Center, he said to me, you're here because you say that you care about us and that middle-class black people care, but they don't. He said, if you cared about us, I wouldn't be in a school where the toilets don't flush. I wouldn't have been in a school where there are bathrooms, stalls with no doors, where water is not running, the water doesn't work, and we go into the lunchroom and we eat or try to eat that food and can't even wash our hands. This is what I'm looking at every day as I travel this nation into the schools that have children who've been written off, our children. And I'm saying that we together, we have to write them in. This is what we can do. We're the most able, stable black people on this planet. I have an ask of you on this incredible occasion. This year marks the 400th year of our arrival here, our arrival from our motherland. 400 years ago in August, those first Africans were offloaded from a ship that held 20 of our ancestors. And here we are. They couldn't even have imagined the lives we have today. And so, we complain about every little thing, my little dress. I was running around trying to find something to go underneath the thing because it wasn't ready. I'm like, give it up. What are we fussing and worrying about? We have everything we need to do the work that stabilizes our life. Everything we need. Pain is one thing. It's information. That's all it is. Pain in the stomach, look at what you're eating. Pain in the eyes, or you're doing too much reading, or you're at the computer too much. Pain in your heart, what is today? Today is Wednesday? Maybe that's not your boo. You haven't heard from the person in 3 days, that person's not loving you. So what I'm saying is that pain should call up one question. What have you come to teach me? What have you come to teach me? And just listening to the Divine Nine and just the love that's in this room, my request is this. I'm just going to ask that each of you go on to caresmentoring.org, caresmentoring.org. If you forget it, just look my name up, caresmentoring.org. Sora Beverly, I'm just going to make it plain. Folks outside of our race don't really care about us much. Don't really care about black poverty. Because fixing public education is not difficult. And as long as property taxes are connected to school funding, our children will never, ever have what they need and deserve. So maybe you're working on public policy. I'm in those schools. We are boots on the ground in 58 cities in this nation, helping our children to override those barriers that are concretized. And what we're saying is that, you can fly, and we're going to make sure that you do that. But we need you. We need your support. As foundations change their minds about what they're going to fund, And I'm just going to ask each of you, if you would just donate $10 a month and be a robo-donator, $10 a month, and ask others to do the same, so that we can really do this incredible work that we're doing. Go on to caresmentoring.org, check us out, see what we're doing. And you know what? Finally, we are a praying people. We praise God. God doesn't need, the Holy Spirit doesn't need your praise or your prayers. They are for you to remember who you are, that you are human and divine. The essence of the entity that we call God or Allah, Jehovah, that created you is within you. So there's nothing you can't do. So stop biting your nails to the quick. Have a plan. Know that when it's a plan for the goodness of this good earth and the people, everything you need will be given to you. But when you're doubting and fearing and stepping back from life, and this is what we do, the world's a mess. And I think it's a mess because of women. You know what we do? We doubt, we fear, and we step back believing we're not enough. We're too old, we're too young, we're too fat, we're too dark, we're too light, you are more than you need. You have everything you need, a divine original. Praying. The Holy Spirit doesn't need your prayers. They are for us to remember who we are. Hands that serve, my sisters, are holier than lips that pray. Hands that serve are holier and mightier than lips that pray. And I just thank you. Thank you, Sora Beverly, for giving me this moment to just implore you to really link arms and aims and help the children who need us, because few outside of our community care enough. Thank you so much. And my middle name is Lillian, so I am so happy to receive this award, surely.
Susan Taylor said, "Maybe that's not your boo." I think I'll take that away from this event. We are very excited, before moving on, to present the next award, to recognize former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, who has joined us. The Honorable Andrew Young is in the house. Please stand. There he is. We love you, and we thank you so much for being here. Our next award is the Ethel Payne Award. The Ethel Payne Award was established in 1992 in honor of the late Ethel L. Payne, who was known as the First Lady of the Black press. She was an internationally accomplished journalist and civil rights advocate who was a trailblazer in the field of journalism for women and African Americans. The Payne Award recognizes individuals who have made significant contributions through their professional activities to improve the quality of life for all citizens. The 2019 recipient of the Ethel L. Payne Award is Jamel Hale. I don't think she knows we love her as much as we do. Yes, so you know the story. She's an Emmy Award-winning journalist and the co-founder of Lodge Freeway Media and a senior staff writer for The Atlantic. She was previously the chief correspondent and senior columnist for The Undefeated, ESPN's content initiative exploring the intersections of sports, race, and culture. In 2018, NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists, awarded her with Journalist of the Year. Now that we've given you her professional achievements, let me tell you why the National Information and Communications Committee was so excited to present this award to her, and let me tell you why this sister is really here. Jamel is unapologetically Black and a sister who stands in her truth. After making some controversial comments about the White House last year, she refused to backtrack on her comments. She even stated I knew almost immediately that if I did face some kind of permanent discipline, if I did lose my job, if I was immediately suspended, I was okay with that. Translation, I said what I said. Jamel, we salute you, and we are so excited about your new podcast on Spotify called Jamel Hill is Unbothered. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Ethel Payne Award recipient, Jamel Hill. Oh, I got so caught up.
I know.
I got to give you the award.
Is it facing up? All right. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm sorry, there's a part of me that's still a little tripped out because to sit just a couple seats down from Susan Taylor, I was over there trying not to fangirl because realize as a up-and-coming journalist, to see her face for every Essence issue for a good 15 years of my life, it meant a lot to me and a lot to, I know, a lot of young journalists of color that we could look to her as an excellent example about what it meant to be a professional in this industry. So I'm just sort of like trying not to fangirl out even right now. But all that being said, some of the issues she talked about, this award is sort of bittersweet because one of the newspapers that Ethel Payne wrote for was the Chicago Defender, which recently announced that they would be publishing their last issue and going through a purely digital format. And when you look at the height of what the Chicago Defender was, at one point they had a circulation of 250,000 readers, and now they're down to less than 20,000. And it's important that we understand the crisis that's in American journalism right now. Part of the reason that you may not be as informed or as educated about or don't hear about some of those issues with Black children and poverty that Susan Taylor was talking about is because we are not shaping the news coverage. The news coverage remains, or I should say American journalism, especially in the mainstream media, remains overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly male, overwhelmingly forgetting and dismissing, overlooking our stories and our communities and what's happening to us every day. And I found this to be quite embarrassing as a sports journalist. I know it's different from news and politics, but when I was a columnist at the Orlando Sentinel from 2005 to 2006, I was the only Black female sports columnist at a major daily newspaper in North America. Notice I did not say America, I said North America. I was 1 out of 305. That is not a source of inspiration saying, oh, I'm the only one. That is an embarrassing statistic about this business. And so I say this to you, especially as we have an administration that is intent on making the news media look like the enemy, calling us enemy of the state, that if there are young people in the room who have never considered a career in journalism, I urge you to get involved. I know what the statistics look like. I know you don't see a lot of us on the news and within the coverage spectrum, but that's exactly why we need you to join. In a few weeks, I'll be headed to the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. As it was mentioned, I was Journalist of the Year last year. I've been a member of this organization since I was a teenager, and this organization has meant everything to me, much as for the Deltas in the room, as this organization has meant to you. But it's critical that we encourage young people to join this profession so that we can start changing our own narrative and understanding not just what's happening in our community in terms of the problems that we need to address, but also a lot of the positive and wonderful, versatile and dynamic things that we're doing also as a community so that we don't look at coverage and feel as if we're not worth anything. So that is my soapbox. I'd also like to, of course, thank you, Madam President, thank the Delta organization. I am not a member of a sorority, and I just feel like I gained like thousands of sisters in literally just the span of a few hours. What you've meant to not just Black womanhood, but the Black community in general. We know that Black women, we save Wakanda. We probably have to save this presidency in another year or so with our voting power and our voice. And so I just want to commend all of you for all the work that you've done just in uplifting each other, uplifting Black women, period, and just being a real source of inspiration and light wherever you are. So thank you so much for this award. It means a lot, especially to be in the company of such unbelievable recipients. So thank you, and take care of yourselves, and I mean that.
Congratulations again, and congratulations on your recent engagement, Jamel. I follow you on Twitter. Weren't stalking or anything. I was just excited that the sister was doing well. The next awards will be presented by our National President, the National President's Award of Excellence, and the Vision Award. She will read information about the chapters and individuals that she is honoring. So of course, they will not be making remarks to us because the work that Deltas do always speaks for them. But at this time, our National President will come and present special awards. Zora Smith.
Good evening again. On April 22nd, 2018, a 29-year-old man opened fire at the Waffle House in Antioch, Tennessee, killing 4 people and injuring several others. Our honoree was simply eating a meal with her soror and friend. 2 beloved members of Delta Sigma Theta were shot that day, one fatally, soror Ebony Groves, and the other, survivor Sharita Henderson. I am moved beyond words and extremely proud to present Sharita Henderson with the 2019 National President's Award of Excellence. Sharita was shot several times, putting her in critical condition. She required numerous life-saving surgeries at Vanderbilt Medical Center's trauma unit, and in fact, Sharita at one point received multiple units of blood daily for months as she fought for her life. But we know that God has the final say, and that she is filled with Black girl's magic, and that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. Sharita is now an official partner with American Red Cross to encourage blood donations. The hashtag SharitaStrong is used by her supporters when donating blood, and we ask you to do the same as well. Sharita is using her platform to motivate others who face adversity, an advocate for victims' rights, to eradicate gun violence in our community. Clearly, she has turned a tragedy into triumph, and we are honored that this member of our sorority in the Nashville Alumni Association, National Alumni Chapter, is here with us today. Soror Henderson, on behalf of the more than 300,000 duly initiated women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and around the world, I present you with the 2019 National President's Award of Excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate it so much. I do want to thank the many thousands of sorors that reached out to myself and my family and encouraged me and encouraged us to keep our faith when I was going through such a tragedy. And unfortunately, we did lose Ebony Groves, and she is a dear friend of mine and a soror, and I would be remiss if I did not bring up her name in accepting this great honor. I want to encourage the sorors that are in this room and across the world to please give blood to help save a life. Unfortunately, I will not be the last one that has been shot in an active situation, but I do want to make sure that there is blood available for someone when they need it, and to make sure that we act now to stand up and go to our respective people in office and ask them to change the laws, because if we do not stand up now, the same thing could happen in your city to your family member, and I don't want that to happen. And I am gracious enough to thank you for accepting, for giving me this award and recognizing the work that I am trying to do. I know it's a long journey. It has been a long journey for me with my recovery. I've had 10 surgeries and I've been shot multiple times, but God. And I'm very thankful that He chose me in this situation to shed light to the world and let them know that what meant for evil, you cannot take. You cannot take that from me. But for a time as this, that we need to stand up today and ask our communities to support us to make sure that we keep our communities safe, because you should be able to go into a Waffle House and eat and make sure that you leave that place in one piece. And I am so grateful and thankful that you have given me this award, and I accept it. And thank you so much, SOARS. I appreciate all of the love and support that you have given us. It is just overwhelmingly important to me that my family has seen what this sisterhood that I've been talking about since I was a little girl, that I wanted to join, that it's actually what I've been saying it is about. So thank you so much, SOARS.
Okay, so I'll put the glasses back on. Closing the evening out, I decided I wanted to give some special awards based on the vision that I had. The vision, as you mentioned, and as you know, was joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our heart. I worked with the national committee chairs and to take a look at chapters around the country, individual SOARs around the country that really utilized and promoted Delta's brand in their work. So in collaboration with the Information and Communications Committee, the National Membership Services Committee, and the National Program Planning Committee, and the Social Action Committee, I'm excited to present Vision Awards in 3 categories for our theme. The first category, Joy in Our Sisterhood Awards. There were 3 chapters that we'll be honoring in this category. This chapter's support of Greek organizations, missions, and purposes encourages collaborative programming and unity, and it makes them a great recipient for this award. Their annual Greek Sisterhood Luncheon encourages all Black Greek organization chapters to come together and discuss and establish a community agenda for our current issues that exist in their area. This effort to stand united and show our strength in numbers strategy amplifies our social action agenda. Congratulations to the Joliet area South Suburban Alumni Chapter in the Midwest region. Is there a representative from the chapter here? I guess they're coming to the stage. As they come, I'll read the next award level. The second award under Joy in Our Sisterhood goes to a newly chartered chapter, the Greater Toronto Area Alumni Chapter. This chapter has a strong presence to uplift the Delta brand and promote their chapter, even though they're just, are you a year old yet? You're a year old, okay. From the hashtag Motivational Monday and hashtag Wellness Wednesday, their social media posts are informative and uplifting. The consistency of the posts includes social action plan for subscribers to follow and encourages us to participate and promote wellness under our physical and mental health thrusts. Congratulations to the Greater Toronto Alumni Chapter. Okay. This must be Joliet coming up here. Huh? Oh, this is all Toronto? This is all Toronto, all right. Come on. The third awardee in the Joy in Our Sisterhood category goes to the Lambda Omega chapter in Duke University in the South Atlantic region. The Lambda Omega chapter worked so hard on a lot of programs this year, including their Rhapsody in Red charity gala, raising $1,913, very good, for communities and partnerships. The local nonprofit organization that aims to build more equitable Durham. These sisters spent Founders Day making brunch for families at the Ronald McDonald House together, and they joined the Durham Alumni Chapter during Collegiate Connection Month to pack goodie bags and Valentine's cards for the elderly in the local nursing home. The list goes on and on of the things that this chapter has done in terms of supporting Joy in Our Sisterhood with an intentional effort to make sure that it includes all line sisters and that nothing can be taken for granted among our collegiate chapters. You know, our collegiate chapters do so much, and I'm so proud of how strong they are into their creativity and their community advocacy. So thank you. Lambda Omega. In terms of the Power in Our Voice category, Delta is honored. Am I in the right category? Power in Our Voice, okay. Delta is honoring the Iota Sigma chapter for the GOTV efforts in their bipartisan partnership program. They are at Mercer University. This collegiate chapter partnered with members of both the Democratic and Republican parties. The forum provided each member of the party a chance to speak about their approach to politics with a special focus to address the social and political issues that are important to Black women, specifically young Black collegiate chapters and students. This chapter took the lead in creating an unconventional collaboration on the campus in Macon, Georgia. Congratulations to the Iota Sigma chapter. And they're not here this evening. Let me find some more pages here.
That's correct.
That's it? Okay. Now I go to my home region for a chapter who definitely did power in their voice. The Cleveland, Ohio Alumni Chapter is a true reflection of the social action agenda. The chapter's GOTV, Get Out the Vote, effort during the 2018 midterm elections included collaboration with selected organizations featuring a Delta MOU partners list. Organizations like the NAACP closely worked with them and the chapter to advance GOTV efforts with voter registration and voter education. The chapter's commitment to increase voter turnout in Ohio is an example of Delta's most efficient and effective civic engagement. Congratulations to the Cleveland Alumni Chapter. The next chapter for their social media outreach. This award goes to the Austin, Texas Alumni Chapter, who utilized their social media accounts, specifically Twitter, to feature the faces of Black women voters in Austin. In addition, they use an intergenerational approach to speak the reason why we vote. Some of the members highlighted youth and children in a social media campaign to provide additional incentive for the historic nature and the implications of the 2018 election. That's the way to reflect the Delta brand. Congratulations to the Austin Alumni Chapter. The last chapter in this category is from the Eastern region. Already, I get that already. The North Manhattan Alumni Chapter. The chapter highlighted opportunities to learn more about candidates through voter education. In addition, their voter registration efforts span the entire service area. This chapter's integrated Get Out the Vote messaging in every single one of their chapter's programs. This commitment to messaging helped to promote voting as a priority in North Manhattan and surrounding areas. Congratulations, North Manhattan alumni. The last category is the Service in Our Heart category. And we have 2 chapters in that category who are winners. And that is the award that okay, so the rain has caused a problem, so I will tell you, the chapters may be here, but the awards are somewhere in the weather. But as soon as we find them and before we leave, they should get in tomorrow. The next day, they tell me, we'll be sure to get the awards. Service in Our Heart. There are 2 chapters that we recognize for what they've done in terms of service in our heart. The Auburn Alumni Chapter in the Southern Region. The Auburn Alumni Chapter rose above and beyond personal chapter tragedy when 2 sorors actually lost 11 relatives in Lee County, Alabama during the tornadoes. Although they were personally and severely impacted, they still were super supportive of the community, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Their social media was timely and informative, and they were able to help others while they were mourning. Their efforts included volunteering at the AME Donation Intake Center and transporting residents, collecting donation items, and notifying the Divine Nine, alumni and collegiate, through FEMA for declarations and more. Even in the face of tragedy, the service in our heart of this chapter showed broad and beat loudly. Congratulations, Auburn Alumni Chapter. We're going to get our pictures at a later date. And the last award that we have, in terms of service in our heart, the Dallas Alumni Chapter in Southwest Region for the Mary Help of the Sick Hospital. And I think many of you know we have missions in Africa, and one of our missions is the Mary the Sick Hospital, and we recently went there to visit the hospital so we could see what we had done, and we see the chapter's information posted in that hospital. The Dallas Alumni Chapter partnered with Baylor Scott and White Health in Dallas, Texas, and Kenya Keep to provide a number of donations in which they shipped to Kenya to the hospital. From hospital supplies, hospital scrubs, hospital furniture, baby food donations, these sorors work to support a hospital in need. They also sent financial support and are committed to continuing this effort under our International Awareness and Involvement Thrust. Thank you, Dallas alumni, for what you've done for our international awareness and for service in our heart. All right. Oh, this says add 2. So we have 2 more power, you know, we really are powerful in our voice. We've got 2 more power in our voices to add tonight before we close out. These are our last 2 awards. The Glen Ellen Alumni Chapter, once again, the Midwest region is doing well tonight. This chapter incorporated social action into every single program they had during the sorority year. They published a voter education guide, they presented a Power in the Vote Summit, and the list goes on and on. Congratulations, Glen Ellen Alumni Chapter. I don't know if they're with us tonight. The last award we have to give, another power in our voice, certainly goes to a power-based chapter, the Washington, D.C. Alumni Chapter. I knew that was coming, you know. Yes, Sora Boyd, we based in the nation's capital. It is no surprise that this chapter is an honoree. There was no bribe involved in this whatsoever, just so you know. From the voter registration to voter engagement, this chapter runs a powerhouse social action agenda, and we thank them for keeping our political awareness and involvement alive in a city that seems to need that. So thank you, Sora. Congratulations. Oh, we could take a picture. the husband's got to play a role here. I'm going to turn this podium back over to our hostess with the mostest for the evening as we close out. Let me take a minute, though, to personally thank those chapters who participated and the chapters who really won those awards. We are trying to demonstrate who we are and demonstrate our vision, and you've done an excellent job of doing that. To my brothers and sisters of the Divine Nine, I truly appreciate the fact that you came out this evening. It was no easy thing to do in this weather. And I know some of you have to go back to meetings, so can we stand and give the Divine Nine a round of applause, please? Absolutely. To our award winners in the other categories, I think when you look at these outstanding women who won the awards, doesn't matter if they're Deltas or not, the awards that we've given really represent who they are and the things they represent to us because of the power of Black women and the power of the voice that they have. So thank you all and congratulations. Thank you for being here. Sardia.
What a wonderful welcome program we've had this evening. Congratulations again to all of our honorees. Thank you all for your presence. I would like to give a special shout out to all of the volunteers as well as the members of the National Information and Communications Committee for all of the hard work in making this event a success, and especially to the thousands who are viewing via live stream. We will now have closing remarks by Delta's National First Vice President, Cheryl Hickman, followed by a special video regarding the Grand Second Line.
Good evening. What a wonderful evening this has been. And on behalf of the National President, Beverly E. Smith, the National Executive Committee, the National Executive Board, our past national presidents, the leadership and membership of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we would first like to congratulate all of our awardees, and we thank the members of the Divine Nine, our sponsors, our supporters, and our guests for sharing with us in this public meeting as we kick off the 54th National Convention of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It has been said that if you want to go somewhere fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others and go together. This evening, we have recognized and celebrated those who have gone above and beyond together. We celebrate we the people, beneficiaries of the heroic acts of organizations, of social movements, of other acts of generosity and kindness, and acts of service that have been highlighted tonight. Tonight we celebrate victories, yet we never forget that we have battles yet to fight. We fight because we must, because injustice is injurious, because the opponents of liberty and justice can be hurtful and hateful people, and yet we believe in freedom. We are here together in the fight because we live for justice. We seek to achieve liberty and secure justice and fairness for all people in the struggle. But struggle has never been new for any of us. We have been shaped in the crucible of struggle, and we are up for the battle. Setbacks may come, but yet we are not faint. In 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, verses 8 through 9, it states, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. We are persecuted, but not forsaken. Let us cast down. We are cast down, but not destroyed." In the pursuit of liberty, we may get bruised, we may get battered, we may get bloodied, but we will not be defeated. We are in a fight for our lives, because Black lives matter, because all lives matter. We together emulate we, the people, and the people will prevail. We thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight, and we say, may God continue to bless each and every one of you. May God continue to bless the organizations and our awardees tonight, and may God continue to bless Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One announcement, and that's concerning the grand second line. It will begin at 7:30 p.m. outside of Hall G, as in George, and it will proceed to Mardi Gras World. If you would like to take a bus, there are buses available if you choose not to walk. But the grand second line will begin at 7:30 p.m. outside of Hall G. There is one other announcement coming, but again, we thank you all for participating in our public meeting. Sorry. And for all of the honorees, if you would like the boxes for your awards, you can pick them up at the end of the day immediately following the program this evening. Are they stay seated for the recessional? Please stay seated for the recessional. Oh, the video and then the recessional.